My name is Brian Wright. I'm the founder and CEO of New Patient Group, managing partner of WrightChat, and the host of the New Patient Group podcast, and speak all over the world for some of the biggest name companies as a motivational speaker, such as Invisalign and many more. Well, WrightChat was founded with a couple really good friends of mine. We share a lot of passions together: cooking, flying airplanes, as you can see in the back. And, as an entrepreneur, one of the things I've always tried to do was locate and find problems and start companies that solve those problems. And what I found from a business owner standpoint, a lot of times the problems that exist inside people's practices or their business, they don't even know that are going on. So they may be searching for something else to grow when in actuality the problem's staring at them right in the face. And the phones are the biggest problem in my mind of any small business or large business. We've all called places where the phone call either didn't go well, nobody answered, a person may have been rude, whatever it may be. We could all think of those times more often than the good ones. We all have probably negative memories of phone calls calling places. So WrightChat solves a huge problem inside practices for a lot of different reasons. Well, first impressions are everything, whether that be in relationships or whether it be in business. First impressions can literally make or break everything. You go on a first date and you don't have a good first impression, you're not getting a second one. And the ironic thing, I use that analogy a lot because that's what a new patient call, that's what it is. It's a first date. On that call, you have to build the know, like, trust factor. You have to wow people, especially if your practice and your business exists in a competitive industry, which so many practices do now. People are just Googling, they're calling, and if you don't answer, they're calling right down to the next one. And if you do answer, the call's got to go extremely well as well. And the first impression is actually psychology around it, and it's called the halo effect. And as humans, if you go to a restaurant and you have a waiter, and that waiter makes a really good first impression on you, you leave likely thinking, wow, all of those waiters were just amazing, when you just had one. And it works the other way as well. You could buy a car and the car could be a lemon. Meanwhile, they make 1 million of them and all the rest of them are great. If you're stuck with the lemon, you're going around telling people, hey, this it's a piece of junk. And that's what the phone call is from a first impression. However your receptionist comes across on that call, you literally, and we see clients do it all the time, where people actually go and write a 5-star review about the business before they even walk through the door. And that should be your goal on a new patient call or a new client or customer call, is to wow them so much that they already psychologically are in a place that they know they're going to come in and buy from you and refer to you, etc. And that all happens from a first impression. And if your phone call goes a specific way, if it's exciteful, kind, hospitable, if they're trained in a way that's unique to any other phone call that shopper has ever experienced in their life, then that's automatically how they're going to assume everything else is inside your doors, and it's all through that halo effect. So the power of a first impression is undeniably one of the most important things you can have to grow a business. What people hear from the WrightChat employees, and it's funny, a lot of our clients, they say that they almost don't want their phone answered by their own team. They want our agents to answer them, because we are, and it starts with the culture with the company, is you can train people all day long. This is what my other company, New Patient Group, talks about, is you can train all day long, but if you don't have a culture that supports the implementation, you're wasting your time and your money, your efforts, etc. So the culture of WrightChat, we have employees that care a lot, and the leadership team cares a lot, and that's why the employees do. We're very hands-on. We care significantly about every customer we have, and just that in itself I think helps WrightChat stand out, because I don't think a lot of companies can say that they passionately care about every single customer. And that culture goes through to our training of the employees. They role play every single week. We have internal competition that's healthy. They want their mystery calls. When we pick a call and we say, okay, Agent A, or we're going to listen to that call today in front of the whole team, they want that to happen. They don't look at it as we're trying to penalize them. They look at it as we're trying to get them better. And from a leadership standpoint, that's your job as a business owner. Our job as a business owner is to constantly take our employees outside their comfort zone and give them skill sets that are going to advance their career. And as we give them those skill sets, it helps our clients grow, because when a phone call is answered, what happens is they're trained on hospitality, customer service, psychology, which when you hear us say psychology, that's just knowing what to say, when to say it, and how to say it. Just like the halo effect that I was talking about. There's all kinds of those psychology terms that people that handle the phones need to be trained on. They need to be trained on sales. And so the reality is, if people are shopping around and you answer the phone, that's a sales call. You have to convince them why you're the place to not only show up, but show up psychologically prepared to buy. Our agents are trained on all of that: verbiage, presentation, how to overcome if somebody says, how much do you charge for, and fill in the blank, whatever your services are. They're highly trained on how to overcome objections, handle really any situation that's thrown on them, and we put a ton of effort into that training. So when people call and a WrightChat agent answers, they're going to hang up that phone and they're going to remember it. And it'd be pretty safe to say, if I was in front of 1,000 people right now, and I'd say, raise your hand if you've ever had a memorable phone call calling a business. Probably not too many hands would go up. So whenever you deliver that type of experience over the phones to people, it sets your business up for so much success. And that's the biggest message we try to get across is that the better your conversion, the lower your advertising expenses. It makes it easier to grow and far less headaches. We motivate our employees to deliver a memorable experience in a lot of different ways, but it really comes down to the finite versus infinite mindset. And what that is, finite thinkers they're stuck in their ways, long story short. They don't have a mindset of constant improvement. And that's how you become stagnated as a business, is you're always looking outside your doors, advertising, billboards, radio, things like that, thinking that's what you need to grow. When in reality, it's inside your doors that always is going to grow you way more than anything outside your doors ever can. And infinite-minded people and infinite-minded companies, Apple is an infinite-minded company. We're an infinite-minded company. It's that what can we do today to improve ourselves, to improve the client experience tomorrow? And how can we get better every single day than we were yesterday? And when you have that mindset, a lot of things happen. One, you're able to create a culture where people never go, okay, I'm there. They always know we're coming with something new to get better. And employees appreciate that, the good employees. And that's a message for all business owners, you out there, us, is that good employees want you to push them to get better. They want to see their leaders constantly improving their skill sets. Employees that are just stuck in their ways, they don't exist here at WrightChat. They weed themselves out very quickly because that ends up representing a bad client experience if you have employees that don't want to constantly get better. So through that culture, through that aura that we have here, it transcends into the client, because when a phone call is answered and our agents answer that call, they take great pride in implementing the skill sets that we take the time to teach them, because they want us to be proud of them. So when we play a mystery call or a client wants to hear a mystery call, they want that person to go, wow, that was exceptional. And that's how we bonus here as a company as well. It's not a, hey, if we reach this type of money, if we reach $1 million or $1, whatever it is, it's not money bonus oriented, it's performance. So if you show that you're better today than you were last week, we may hand you a random bonus, but it's all around what you can control through accountability and consistent training. That's how we bonus here. We're making a difference with our motto is simply put, we don't believe people smile enough. Society's kind of crazy right now, and we want to make sure that every single phone call that our agents answer, when that phone call is over, we want the person on the other end of that line to remember it, and remember it with a smile. Simply put, we want to be memorable, long story short. And as you're memorable, it helps our clients grow in all kinds of different ways. WrightChat optimizes customer experience in so many different ways. There's more the obvious when practices or businesses are not open. Maybe it's a Friday. A lot of businesses are not open Fridays. Obviously, we come in and we answer the new patient phone calls and schedule them as if we were sitting at their front desk. And that's an important piece of this company, is that it is not a herd of cattle per se answering phone calls. It's assigned agents to the size of that particular business and practice. And they know the practice knows them. It's a literal extension of their team. You can text message the agents, you can call them. It's a very personal feel. And I think from a customer service standpoint, again, it starts internal. So it starts with our clients. That gives our clients, they love that. They love that they can pick up the phone and call one of the agents, or if there's 2 or 3 assigned to you, they can call them. They can invite them over if they want, just like to have an employee party. They are literally part of your team as a backup. There's also before business hours, lunch, after you close. So those are the more obvious, I think, to business owners on their missing calls and how you can enhance the experience, how you can grow the business. But the reality is, and there's a lot of stats we have that other companies have, is that the most calls that are going missed are actually during your business hours. Make-believe name Betty up front is on the phone. Another phone rings, she can't get to it, or she's checking somebody out and she has to pick up the phone, and then another phone rings. There's just too much going on. And the beauty of this model is it's very customized. And what I mean by that is, let's say you're a business and you just opened. Well, you can't afford most likely to go hire 2 front desk people. So if you have one, it's guaranteed you're missing opportunities. Well, WrightChat can come in and we can be your second receptionist. You may be a practice that you have 50 practices already, and you're missing calls for different reasons. You just have more influx, even though you have a lot of people. There's so many different ways we enhance the customer-client experience here. It's just crazy. And as you really dive in deep, more of the not obvious experiences that we help is, and a lot of clients, as they take their journey with WrightChat, they realize this more and more, because this has happened to us all. If you're a doctor business owner watching out there, if you're another type of business owner, an entrepreneur, we've all had this happen where you're in your healthcare environment or some other type of business and you're waiting up front to check out. Or maybe you just walk through the door and it's the first time you've ever been there. And it's like a herd of cattle in there. The phones are ringing off the hook. Nancy, make-believe name, is giving you the hold on just a second because she's on the phones. So what WrightChat really does, as much as anything, is it helps enhance the experience for your current customers, clients, patients that are inside your doors. Because now when the phone rings, you can pay attention to them because you have a team of agents that know you. They know your software. They know your protocols. They're trained on you. So when they answer it, they're going to do it even better than the people you have at your front desk now, for all the reasons I've stated and a lot more. So yeah, the inevitable goal that we all have with all of our businesses is to grow, to make more money, to have less stresses and headaches. But there's a journey that you've got to do to get there, and it all relates back to experience. And the experience begins on the phones, and we just help it in so many different ways. We shine a light on lost opportunities for business owners in a lot of different ways. And I tell the story on stage when I'm speaking a lot. This was a little while ago. My son was swinging a baseball bat out in the front lawn, and our 10-month-old dog, Winston, came sneaking up behind him, and Braden drilled him in the face with a baseball bat on one of the swings. And he was just screaming, the dog. And it was a sad, he's okay, but it was a sad situation. But what did we do? My wife called vet number 1. Nobody answered. She called vet number 2. Nobody answered. She called vet number 3. Who answered? Them. And the problem with that story, and what I tell everyone from a business owner standpoint is the first 2 vets are not actively looking for solutions on how to plug the leaky hole because they don't know they're happening. And there's 2 lost opportunities every business owner faces. I don't care if you're a doctor that owns a business, if you're me that owns companies, if you're a plumber, a restaurant owner, we all face 2 lost opportunities. And it's the ones we know about and that we can put our finger on and we can look to improve. And then there's the other ones that are happening every single day that we don't know about. And traveling like I do and speaking like I do, there's all kinds of stories. Standing in and I look for them because there are all kinds of things that the restaurant owner doesn't know, the doctor doesn't know. And the reality is those lost opportunities that you don't know about are always costing your business more revenue than the ones you do. And when you're in a competitive industry like orthodontics, dentistry, any really service-based industry, restaurants, plumbers, things like that, people are calling your business all the time with you missing it. You just don't know what's happening. So inevitably, the biggest lost opportunity we plug is not only scheduling those people, answering calls that they would miss and scheduling them, but then it's leaving a brand in that caller's mind of what your entire company represents. And the other piece too is the lost opportunities of the people that have bought from you. And this is business owners, this is a huge lesson that I learned a long time ago is treat the people that have bought from you even better than how you're going to treat people that you're trying to get to buy from you to begin with. And there's this aura of business owners are trying to find ways to, how do I advertise more, pay-per-click, all of this stuff. And if they took that same obsession and they applied it to the customer base that have already bought from them, they're going to grow way more and at a far less cost. So one of the things WrightChat does from another loss opportunity standpoint is it allows you to treat the people that have already bought from you and they're standing in front of you better. Because as it stands today, if you don't use WrightChat, when that phone rings, you have to get it because you can't take the chance of it being a new patient call or a new customer call and you missing it. Well, as you're doing that, you're probably giving the one finger salute to the person standing in front of you. And that's just a bad brand awareness, a bad experience. And it's also exactly what everybody else does. So there's nothing unique about it at all. Well, with us, you can let that phone ring because you have agents assigned to you that know you. And it's not a call center. It's a very personalized, customized approach. And then they're going to answer that call. They're going to remotely access into your software and schedule them. And the caller never even knows a third party answered because we don't even want you as a client to feel like it's a third party. So the caller's certainly not going to feel that way. And when you combine the inside your doors experience with the experience over the phones and combine those together, the growth is unbelievable that our clients experience and at a far less cost than they otherwise would have had to spend. There's a lot of different ways people use WrightChat. As a business owner, especially during these times, it's hard to find people that want to work. And it's arguably even harder to find people that are good and want to work. And there's a lot of headaches that go into that as well. Getting them trained to the level our agents are trained. It's an hour minimum of role plays for every agent every single week for a minimum of a year. That's what, as a business owner, you're going to have to commit to get anywhere near what our agents do every single day. And because of that, there's different ways people use us. Our model is, yes, we're the backup for the new patient calls you're missing. But there's a lot of businesses out there that they don't want a lot of employees. We have Bob Skopak, he's an orthodontist in Chicago. His model is outsource as many of the admin responsibilities as possible. So his office is quiet and he doesn't need that many people. It's just him and a couple assistants basically. So his model is the phone calls come to us as the primary. So we actually answer his new patient calls as if we're sitting at his front desk. So he doesn't have to go out and hire receptionists. Then you have other people that, you have two receptionists today and you lose one. Well, you're going to have to go out and go through the hiring process and the training process and all of that. Well, where WrightChat comes in for those practices is now you have one receptionist, but now you don't need to go hire another one. You have two agents that are assigned to your practice, or again, if you're a bigger practice, maybe it's 3 or 4. But now maybe you end up investing a little bit more in WrightChat in that situation. But it's still less than what it's going to cost you to go out and hire a whole new person and train them and all of that stuff. So there's a lot of different ways. We can be the backup. We can be your front desk. We can be part of your front desk. There's all kinds of different ways people can choose to use us. And also the emergency backup where you do have 2 receptionists. And even with 2, you're missing calls. But if Betty calls in sick, now you're down to 1. And obviously the call volume is going to go up in those cases. So there's just so many different ways to use us. And the beauty of our pricing is from an investment standpoint, the pricing's in tiers. So it's not by hour, it's not by minute. So we're not going to charge you any more if we're just answering on Fridays as opposed to answering all week, vice versa. So people can use us all the time. And the tier pricing doesn't change. It's just all based on how many people we're actually scheduling for you. So there's just so many different ways to use the company. So if you own a business and you're looking to grow, you're looking to expand while doing so with less headaches, less stresses, and inevitably less advertising costs, WrightChat is the company for you. So give us a call and visit the website, WrightChat.com.